Now at 10, some area law enforcement agencies look for a solution to the problem of retaining employees. Plus, medical staff and students at PSU hold a simulation to prepare for potential disaster. And the Missouri State Auditor announces his plans to audit the city of Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some law enforcement agencies in the 4 states, like many around the nation, are dealing with an employee shortage. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Anthony Saviello reports on the struggles facing the Newton County Sheriff's Office and the Carl Junction Police Department.
Every day we rely on our law enforcement officers to keep the peace. But agencies in our area are seeing a decline in officer employment.
Since 2018, we've had 36 employees leave. 4 retired, 9 either were fired or didn't complete their training. 17 got out of law enforcement completely. Only 6 have went to other agencies. We can't compete with the private market.
Newton County Sheriff Chris Jennings is one leader feeling the strain from the lack of employees.
Right, and unless you've been married to a first responder, you're not going to understand the fear.
Heather Jensen is the wife of a police officer in Carl Junction, where police retention is also an issue. The lack of police officers there only adds on to the fear that her husband may not come home.
There's nights that I cry myself to sleep because I am afraid my husband will come home, and I understand to the outside looking in, it's just a small little country town. But there's a lot that goes on that the public doesn't know about. They just don't, and they're not going to know because they do a good job of keeping it quiet and keeping the citizens feeling safe. But if you don't have any officers to continue to make people feel safe, what's going to happen?
Where the FBI says that a town of our size needs 15, 16 to 20 officers, and we have 11. So not only have we not been able to give raises, we haven't even been able to keep pace with what the FBI says that we should have.
Unfortunately, solutions are less than ideal.
So we're looking at maybe cutting some services in order to give raises in the short term.
One thing that each agency understands and recognizes is that this is a big problem in our area, but it's also a big problem nationwide. Reporting in Newton County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
In a statement released by the Department of Justice, Attorney General Garland said, quote, "We're committed to doing everything we can to support local police departments as they work to serve the communities, build public trust, and keep people safe," end quote. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for a first look at the weather.
Well, definitely it turned out to be a very mild day for us today. Look at our high temperature, 68 degrees, not far from the record. We started at 41, average high is 48 degrees, so 20 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. Also breezy. Southerly winds kicking in. These are going to get moving as we go through the overnight hours tonight. We have a wind advisory in effect as we go into Thursday. A lot of clouds across the region. We have some hit-miss little showers out to the west. As that rolls in toward us, we could see a few random showers in here late tonight into tomorrow morning. I'm really just kind of thinking a sprinkle. A lot of this is not even going to be reaching the ground, but you can see some hit-miss little sprinkles and showers late tonight into Thursday morning. We do have another storm system which is going to be rolling in just in time for Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to look at all that here in just a bit.
See you soon. Authorities are investigating a fatal accident at a Carthage food plant. Yesterday afternoon, police received reports of a worker entrapped in a machine at the Schreiber Foods plant on Claxon Avenue. When they arrived, they found the male worker unconscious and not responsive. They called for a med flight, but before it got there, they declared the worker dead. Authorities are now investigating that incident as an industrial accident. Pitt State medical staff and students today conducted a disaster simulation at the Irene Ransom Bradley School of Nursing. Medical personnel practice what to do in a disaster situation like the Joplin tornado of 2011. One official says the real-world aspect of the simulation appealed to her as a nurse.
In the critical care field and the nursing field, it's always been something I've been familiar with, and it's made me excited. It kind of pairs, that excitement for really detail-oriented care with like the excitement of high stress situations and combines that with the empathy I have for people and wanting to do, help people, things like that, the natural drive of nurses.
The school plans to hold mock disasters 2 more days this semester. As we reported, the VA Eastern Kansas healthcare system has announced a new Iola community-based outpatient clinic. Well, now to ensure all VA patients are well informed about the Iola clinic and any transition processes, healthcare providers will hold in-person information sessions. These sessions will be open to all veterans, their families, and their caregivers. For more information, including session dates, go to our website, koamnewsnow.com. The FBI is trying to identify victims of a cyber attack that occurred late last year. Now, we've told you someone breached the computer files of Integris Health, which operates a hospital in Miami, Oklahoma. On Christmas Eve, many Integris patients received an email listing the specifics of their personal information. The sender asked for a $50 fee to not sell the data on the dark web. If you or someone you know received one of those emails, the FBI would like to hear from you. For more information, go to fbi.gov, click on the Victim Services tab. Spire wants to warn its customers about scammers impersonating the energy provider. Scammers posing as Spire representatives have called customers requesting a bill payment. As a reminder, Spire would like customers to know it will never ask for payment through Cash App, such as Venmo. If a customer receives a suspicious phone call, they should immediately hang up and contact Spire directly. The Missouri State Auditor today announced plans to launch an audit of the city of Joplin. Scott Fitzpatrick says it comes at the request of residents who gathered more than 2,200 signatures. The city was last audited in 2015 and received an overall performance rating of poor. A follow-up report in 2016 showed the city had taken steps to correct a number of problems identified in that audit. This new audit, it's going to officially begin on February 20th. Out with the old and in with the new, the city of Joplin is replacing the non-native calorie pear trees along Main Street as part of a beautification project. The project is funded by the citizen-approved Proposition Use Tax and the associated beautification initiative efforts. City officials predict that project's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. They want to plant lower maintenance and more environmentally friendly trees.
This first batch of trees from 1st to 32nd Street is about $50,000. There's some additional work that we'd like to do on Joplin Avenue, replacing those trees, which may be an additional $20,000 to $25,000 that we'll look at.
The city first planted calorie pear trees along Main Street in 2008. They're called a non-native tree because the species is originally from China and Vietnam. You can now watch a Pittsburgh native on the big screen. Will Jewett is one of the dancers in the new Mean Girls movie. The film was inspired by the Broadway musical of the same name, which was based on the 2004 comedy film. Will's mom, Janice Jewett, is a PSU dance professor and has watched the movie 8 times already.
I didn't really feel pressure to be good at dance or good at theater, especially from my parents, but I think that's just because they were interested in me enjoying myself, feeling fulfilled.
Will has far more talents than I could ever imagine, so I have learned more from him than he has learned from me by a whole bunch.
This was Will's first time in a film. Soon he's going to be joining a Broadway show. While he still can't share details on that, he said he's going to be on the road for a year. We wish him well. We know he'll be a success. Later in sports, Pitt State men and women hit the hardwood tonight for some Wednesday night basketball. John has the highlights coming up in just a few minutes. But first, one Arkansas casino bets the Super Bowl is going to bring in big bucks.
Ashley's President's Day sale is going on now, only at Ashley.
Kansas Bureau of Investigation has arrested a Kansas teacher on a warrant for rape and aggravated criminal sodomy. The arrest follows an investigation of this man, Brian Stuckenschmidt, after a former student reported incidents that took place between January and May of 2018. Stuckenschmidt was a music teacher at USD 452 in Johnson City, Kansas at the time. The Kansas Attorney General is backing legislation to ban the acquisition of Kansas property by foreign entities. Senate Bill 446 would prohibit acquisitions of ownership interests of 3 or more acres of land in Kansas by individuals and groups from outside the U.S. Chris Kobach held a press conference today touting the bill's significance in deterring the efforts of foreign threats like Chinese spies or Mexican cartels.
It's time for Kansas to act. The interests of Kansans have to be protected. When a county seeks to put its economic growth and increased tax revenues over the security interests of the state of Kansas, that's concerning.
Kobach and State Senator Mike Thompson pointed to developments planned in Johnson County by development of C Nanotechnology USA as the company's ties to China have been called into question. Sports betting has turned into a big business for an awful lot of states. For those states, the Super Bowl is generate millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. Rebecca Brown has details on one casino in Arkansas getting ready for the big game.
The NFL and football is our #1 most bet sport.
The Super Bowl is this Sunday, which means casinos are full with people getting ready to place their bets.
I'm going to take the underdog, which is Kansas City. I'm going to take them to win it.
Arkansas lawmakers approved casino gaming back in 2018, and the industry only continues to grow.
We have seen the revenues from last year to this year with how many bets people are making almost double year over year.
Neil Atkinson, the senior director of the sportsbook operations at Saracen Casino Resort, says the Super Bowl is the biggest sports betting event of the year.
If last year was any indication, the players had a very good Super Bowl last year with Kansas City winning in a high-scoring game. We paid out over $1.3 million in winnings last year. If we get a similar result to last year, that number is going to be a much bigger number.
According to the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration, in 2023, legal sports wagers in Arkansas increased to $404 million, or $1.1 million on average per day. The state collected $5.53 million in taxes from sports betting last year, and Super Bowl wagers increased to $3 million.
This time of year, it is all about the NFL and college basketball. Of course, with this Sunday, it's all going to be about football.
But if you're anything like me and don't know a lot about sports, Atkinson says there are bets for you.
People are all about the prop bets. You know, we have the Taylor Swift effect even more this year, and a lot of people really do like to bet the Kelsey bets and their individual player bets too.
According to the Associated Press, bettors nationwide plan to wager an estimated $23.1 billion on this year's Super Bowl. That's up from a mere $16 billion last year. Doug's forecast is next, and a little bit later, the Gorillas see the return of a familiar face on National Signing Day. John's going to have details for us in sports.
Voorhees and Martucci. Don't
Cheeseburger Paradise? Definitely. Only at Chowder's in Pittsburgh.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a super mild day for us today. Temperatures upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Looks great outside right now. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam looking northeast into downtown. And as we go through the night tonight, our temperatures just aren't going to be dropping off much. Look at this. We hang into the 50s. Overnight low only down to about 52. Plus the winds are really going to get moving. We've had south winds kind of 5 to 15 all day long for us today. But by morning, check this out. So here's 6 a.m. We're going to have winds gusting 40 upwards to 45 miles per hour. So super windy on your Thursday. They back down a little bit on Friday, but still we're going to have winds gusting 20 to 30 as we go into Friday afternoon. So at least for your Thursday, a wind advisory is in effect due to those high wind gusts. Plus, The humidity is going to drop during the afternoon, so definitely not a good burning day. A lot of clouds across the region. We've had some light showers out across central parts of Kansas. These are going to roll in toward us later on tonight, but the lower levels of the atmosphere are fairly dry, so maybe a random shower, a few sprinkles. Stronger system dipping into parts of California. That system moves in just in time for Super Bowl Sunday. So let's take a look. A lot of people are going to be going, or at least traveling regionally or locally for Super Bowl parties. All right, so Saturday is going to be fine, but as we get into Sunday afternoon, we'll stop at about the noon hour. Rain starts to increase. We're sitting into lower 40s. Now, this is still, 4.5 days away, so a lot can change. But rain increases Sunday afternoon into Sunday night, and if enough cold air can swipe in, we could see a switch over to snow. If this occurs, I would think the heavier track would be from Wichita to Kansas City, and that's just looking back at the pattern where those heavier tracks have really set up. But still, most of us could get some snow Sunday night into Monday morning. Until then, the mild temperatures stick around. Again, late tonight into tomorrow morning, random shower, random sprinkle. We start with clouds, sunshine by the afternoon, mid-60s by noon, and most of us, again, 68, 69, 70 degrees. Tomorrow night, we don't drop back much at all, upper 40s to near 50. And then Friday, much of the same. Southerly winds, we warm right back up into the mid to upper 60s for afternoon highs. So we get 2 more days that we are going to see really nice temperatures. Now, Friday evening, a wave slides by. This could give us a few random showers. So a slight chance for a shower tomorrow morning and a slight chance for a shower again on Friday evening. Here's your day planner for you Thursday, 55 in the morning, 64 by noon. High temp up to 68 degrees during the afternoon hours. Your 10-day, 68, tomorrow 67 on Friday. Cooler for the weekend, but not bad. Saturday, high temp of 53. Those showers rolling in. Late Sunday could end with some snow showers on Monday, and then staying in the 50s once again most of next week.
Doug, thanks. Still ahead, Pitt State basketball hosts Central Missouri at John Lance Arena. And a familiar face returns to the Gorilla football program on National Signing Day. John Dales has those stories and more. It's up next in sports. Quick, and I'm inviting you on a holiday.
It's 2024 National Signing Day. Across the 4 states, several high school athletes signed their letters of intent that you can check out on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/sports, to hear from all of them. Pitt State football also brings in a new recruiting class, highlighted by a familiar face. Former Gorilla wide receiver Christian Carter, who played for PSU from 2019 to 2022, has signed with Pitt State again and will join the Gorillas in 2024. Carter transferred to Division I FBS Memphis in 2023. He had very limited playing time with the Tigers, only participating in 4 games and finishing the season with 2 receptions total. 2 years ago with PSU, Carter had 51 catches, 692 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns. And Pitt State basketball returns home this evening. The Gorillas women's team entered with a bit of a slump in January, but has won 4 in a row entering tonight. Pitt State enters this game on a 4-game winning streak. Gorillas taking on the Central Missouri Jennies. In the first, Jenna Shipley open in the corner. The lefty knocks down the 3. Later in the quarter, Harper Schreiner's step back up and good from beyond the arc. We'd hear more from her. Closing seconds of the first half now, Elba Lozano beats the buzzer. From long range, the Gorillas go into halftime with a 7-point lead. To the fourth quarter now, Macy Mays passes this one around the horn. Grace Pyle is there. She hits the 3 in the corner. Just over 2 minutes to go. Game's tied at 76 apiece. Harper Schreiner knocks down a clutch 3-ball. Pitt State would only lead by 2 though with 3 seconds left. UCM trying to draw something up but misses the last-second shot. Pitt State hangs on to win 82-80. The Gorillas have now won 5 straight. Just after that one, the men's team takes the floor against Central Missouri. Early in this one, Tanner Mans gets the steal here. He dishes it off to Jeremy Shaw for the layup. Pitt State in front later in the game. It's Shaw who dumps it over to Max Alexander for three. That's nothing but net. Next possession, Alexander open again in the corner, and again he knocks it down. He led Pitt State with 17 points tonight. Still in the first, Jordan Hayes gets the steal, and Keith Kiner finishes with the big-time dunk in transition, but Pitt State still leads by 7. Closing seconds of the half, R.J. Forney throws up an alley-oop. Donnie Prichter gets the slam. Pitt State goes on to win this one 69-60. Back to what I mentioned earlier, though, signing day across the 4 states. You check out our website, 15 different high school athletes signing their letters of intent today. Very exciting day for all of them.
And for the fans as well.
Of course.
We'll be right back.
Kansas City Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Aaron S. Davis, a 4-state hero.
Spirit Week continued today at the Frank Layton Elementary School in Frontenac, Kansas. Students got to wear their pajamas or sweats in recognition of Dreaming of Win Wednesday as we head into the Super Bowl. You can check out how other area schools have been celebrating Chiefs Spirit Week on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's check back with Doug.
Wind advisory is going to be in effect for you Thursday. Winds gusting 40 upwards to 45 miles per hour at times, but our temperatures great, 68, 67 on Friday. Random shower Thursday morning, random shower late Friday. Bigger system moving in Super Bowl Sunday, rain, possibly switching over to snow.
Final sports note.
Missouri Southern basketball back at home tomorrow, and those Lady Lions just look unbeatable right now.
Yeah, they've been very good. And our Chiefs special,
That's
Super Bowl special coming up 6:30 on Friday.
It is. We're very excited for it.
You bet. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Don't forget the morning show at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great Thursday.